if I've got to buy something or if a building's got to be rented, the expenses have to be covered first. Jerry Lewis didn't work for free for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. He helped them raise money. And I think that's one of the things where they had this big misconception as a promoter is I'm going to run a fundraiser so everybody should have to do it because I feel strongly about it. No, that's not the case. That's not how that works. The other thing, when you're doing a fundraiser like that, you still want to put on a quality wrestling event. Go look at what Ricky Regal does in Lawrence every December for the Sheriff's Association or for the Sheriff, or I'm not exactly sure who it's for. I know it's got something to do with the Sheriff. But look at what he does every year in December. He puts on a quality wrestling show that makes the fans leave there going, I can't wait till next December. He does not load it up with 30 matches and 300 guys. Yes, when you're doing something and you're doing a fairly big show, you get phone calls, you get emails, IMs, everything under the sun of people wanting to be on your wrestling event. That's all great. That's all fine and dandy. But don't go outside of what you should be doing of 5 or 6 good quality matches. If you're going to do that, throw a good battle royal out there to use those guys and say, look, I'm sorry, I've already got my 5 matches. If you want to be part of the battle royal, I'd love to have you. If not, maybe on the next show. But if you water it down so bad that when the people leave, they leave in the middle of the show because they're so tired. And as a fan, my feelings were hurt on Sunday. And there was good talent on that show. Zane Riley was one of them. Unfortunately, we had to wait to the very end of the show to watch him. Kevin Phoenix, I've seen him have good matches. Timmy Anton, there were a lot more guys on the show that I've seen. Some of them I didn't know who they were, but I did watch what they were doing. They were good athletes. It didn't make them good wrestlers because they didn't tell a good story in the ring. They had no psychology to what they were doing. You know, I don't know the governor personally. I did introduce myself at the end of the night. But, brother, 10 matches, you don't need to be out there for 7 of them. Less is more. And I'm sure he's going to be offended by me saying that. But, hate it for you. If you're offended, well, better luck next time. You know, I've been in this business for 20 years, and I've watched other people do that. And they have no longevity. When people go, oh, God, it's him again, that's not heat. That's them wishing that they had to piss at the moment so they could be in the bathroom and not be near you. I watched a couple, and I told my girlfriend, I said, you know, these folks come out today to watch good wrestling. It's a shame they didn't get any of it. And what's bad is the next time somebody runs in Gaffney, those 2 people will not come back out. They left right after intermission, and when they seen the hardcore match start, which made absolutely 0 sense to even have that, you're doing a little spot show. Where's the story behind that? You're doing it for the sake of doing it. There's no reason to do that. You know, and if you have your reason, it wasn't well explained. I'm in the business. I understand the business. And I couldn't understand why they put that match out there. There was a lot of things they did that the story was not explained. And by doing that, if I can't understand it, being in the business for 20 years, how is a person that's sitting on the front row that paid $5 or $10 on a can of beans to get in there, how in the hell are they going to understand it? They can't. Yeah, and I'm not trying to pick on the show in Gaffney. There are a lot of other shows out there like that. Since I started the karaoke show and I came off the road from managing the Barbarian, I don't travel around to a lot of independent shows anymore. If John Schuyler's on the show, I'll check in with him to see how the show was. Or every now and then, John Schuyler or Jesse Wyndham or even Zane Riley will say, hey, you ought to take a look at this guy. Or, hey, I gave this guy your number, or I gave this guy your information, or I told him to email you. That's how I've been finding some of my talent, or guys, when I go to the Mid-Atlantic Convention, that's where I found Jackson James. Actually, Jackson James found me. He had emailed the folks at WrestleForce and wanted to come work out with us. They gave him my information, and I happened to meet him in Charlotte. I think Jackson James is a diamond in the rough. And he's another one that's got the heart. I just hope he continues to have the heart. I hope he continues to have the desire. And I look for him to one day be on the network, starting with NXT and then hopefully moving up to the main roster, as well as John Schuyler. Jesse Wyndham doesn't travel as much as he used to. I know he's getting married here soon, so that might have a little bit to do with that. I don't know. Jesse's one of those guys that, you know, you get him to travel for a while, and then he'll take some time off, which is understandable. I can completely understand where he comes from with that.
Hey, this is Chris Hammer. Get a stream with me and listen to the CIWR report.
Hi, I'm Louis Black, and I'm a big supporter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and its mission to cure CF. People ask me, Louis, what's your personal connection to CF anyway? Well, I don't have one. I'm just passionate about finding a cure. Every year, thousands of people participate in Great Stride, the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation's national walk to raise funds for CF. We spend hours wandering around for no reason. Why not walk to save lives? I'm not asking you to run, because I wouldn't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do. And actually, I don't do much walking, because after a long day of yelling and screaming about stuff, I have to lie down and rest up for the next day of yelling and screaming. Don't make me yell and scream more than I have to. Just walk with us. As a matter of fact, walk over to your computer right now and visit cff.org and sign up for Great Strides today. You'll make a difference. Support the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and help make CF stand for Cure Found.
Being a dad can be tough.
No. What do you mean she's not coming?
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
But when you're willing to do anything...
It is I, Cruz Zinkerbell. Okay, time for cake.
It's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Drew. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Welcome back to the CIW Report. In recent developments, one thing that has probably shaken the wrestling world, I feel that it's shaken the wrestling world because it kind of marks the end of an institution or a tradition, and that is Chief Jay Eagle having to close shop there in Bowling Springs. Do you think that that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, bad for Jay Eagle. They closed his doors. First of all, I have no heat with Jay Eagle whatsoever. I love Jay Eagle. And anybody that goes to work for Jay Eagle, if you think you're going to get rich, you're sadly mistaken. It's not going to happen. You know going into the deal what you are not going to make. If you call Jay Eagle and say, hey, brother, I'm not doing anything Saturday night, do you have a spot for me? Chances are he's going to go, come on, brother, come on out and save me, which is great. The guys that have the ambition, there are guys, and I'm not trying to down anybody there. I don't even know, I know Boomer's there a lot. Boomer does not have the desire to travel anymore. Boomer is happy being the large fish in the small pond. There are some guys there that feel that they have the ambition, but they won't go anywhere else to wrestle. Or if Jay Eagle's running, they won't go anywhere because Jay Eagle's running. Because it's so close to their house, they can wrestle in front of people they know. Those are the guys that need to get out and go spread their wings a little bit, go out and see the other crowds and see the fans and see what gets over in other places. They know what works at Eagles because they're there every week. And if you're there for 6 months and you can't get over or the crowd's not responding to what you're doing, you have a problem because they know who you are. It's very intimate there. See, I don't know exactly what happened. I know it's between him and the Athletic Commission. The Athletic Commission, I hear a lot of people complain about them. I hear people piss and moan and groan and complain, but they got to understand the commission's not going to go away. You can complain all day long, and come December 31st, you have to have a new license. There's no question about it. They know they have to have it done. Here's the crazy part about that. Like I said, I've been in South Carolina for almost 20 years. I moved down here about 6 months after I started wrestling, and I knew from day one that I had to have a license. I know come December 31st, I have to have a license. So if I don't have something booked until February, I might wait till mid-January to get it taken care of. But I don't wait till 3 days before the show. When your paperwork is turned into the Athletic Commission, you have to give them time to process it. Just because it falls on their desk doesn't mean that they don't have MMA or boxing or something else on their desk that they have to take care of. But everybody thinks, oh, well, they got it, I can wrestle. That's not true. It hasn't been processed. Your doctors now have to fax in the physical. And I'll tell you where that comes from. It's because these guys out here that think they're going to get above the system, they're going to forge a doctor's signature, and they're going to write down a number, and they're going to send it in and go, oh, yeah, I went and got my physical. Well, they didn't get their physical, and they got busted. There's people that have looked up doctors' names in the phone book, wrote those doctors down. Then the athletic commission follows up and calls these doctors, and these doctors have never heard of these people. Or they try to wrestle without a license. And bless Jay Eagle's heart, he tries to do right by everybody. He doesn't like to hurt people's feelings if he doesn't have to. If you go out there and you have a bad match, Jay Eagle will still pump you up and tell you it was a great match. The thing of it is, in the long run, he's put his own neck out on the line for people, and they don't have any respect. They don't have respect for themselves by going out and getting the physical and getting the license and doing it the proper way. They'd rather piss, moan, and complain that they got to get a license and spend, $50 for a physical and $50 for a license. If you cannot invest $100 in yourself, sell your boots and quit. It's $100. If you can't invest that in yourself, who else is going to invest it in you? And it's these guys that go to Walmart and buy their gear, or for God's sake, get online. High Spots is making knee pads now. They're making gear. They'll sell you a pair of boots. Invest some money in yourself. I've seen guys that would rather spend money on buying weed than buying a pair of wrestling boots because they had to smoke them a little weed. What they do is their own business. But if you're not going to invest in yourself and get some damn gear, why would anybody want to use you? One of my requirements at WrestleForce is for people to have boots.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Promoter, wrestler, manager, trainer, you've done it all, but what are you most proud of?
Oh, I'm proud of my daughter.
Good answer.
She's sitting in the room cheerleading me on.
Come on, Danny.
I had hoped at one time that maybe she would take a little more interest and want to get into the wrestling business, but she didn't, and that's perfectly fine. My daughter danced for the Columbia City Jazz, which was a pre-professional dance company, and she's into cosmetology now. She does excellent with hair and makeup and stuff like that. So maybe one day she'll be in the wrestling business just behind a curtain or something. Enough about my daughter. She quit cheering for me. She give me an oddball look now. My proudest moment, as a trainer, when you get 3 of 6 or 7 wrestlers that I've trained that have done dark matches or extra spots with the WWE, I'm pretty proud of that. Robert Johnson, like I said, went to OVW after training with me, and of course anybody that went through OVW at Danny Davis's place, they still made him train there, and of course continue to learn. But I broke Robert in the business. He went and did a dark match. I believe he wrestled Kurt Angle. Of course, John Schuyler has done 2 tours of England and has been an extra a handful of times, wrestled Ryback on TV a couple years ago. Jesse Wyndham has been an extra. I'm very proud of all those guys. I'm proud to say that I broke those guys in the business. I can't take credit for everything they've done. I'd be lying to you if I did. But I am the one that broke them in the business and got them pointed in the right direction.
4 more questions, and we're going to take this thing to the house. First off, everyone can give their insight as to what will save pro wrestling from dying. In your opinion, what do you think wrestling needs to save it?
Everybody that comes into the wrestling business now needs to try to be as original as they can. Quit trying to be the next Stone Cold or the next John Cena or the next Rock. Be the first of something. The independent wrestling scene could actually survive if the guys would try to be a little more original and quit trying to do what they see on TV. Quit trying to make a major production out of your product and have a damn wrestling show. Let the matches tell the story. Let your guys get in the ring, get some quality talent that look like wrestlers, and get in there and wrestle and put on a good show. And give your fans something to walk out of there and going, man, I really enjoyed this, and make them want to come back. If you could do that, then I think you're not going to bring the territorial system back by any means, but you can have decent wrestling events. Cue Ball Carmichael ran shows in Virginia. I can't remember the name of the building he ran, but I think it was like for 7 or 8 years. And he did it because he put on good wrestling events. Not because he put on a sports entertainment program, but because he put on good wrestling events.
Okay. Looking back, when you first started...
Make you stop and think about that for a second.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm soaking up all the stuff that you're giving me, man. I mean, I'm